You are now watching The Queen Chioma. So hey guys, before we get started, I did want to shout out the sponsor for tonight's video. So the sponsor for tonight's video is Ebony Life. I encourage all of you to download the Ebony Life app. Ebony Life is a discussion forum where women discuss health, beauty, relationships, parenting, or any other topic that you want to express yourself in. So if you're looking for a safe space to talk with like-minded women, this is an online community for Black women specifically that covers a range of topics through chat rooms, forums, and customized feeds. So if you're interested in any of these topics, the app is available free on both the iOS Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So log in and join the conversation now. Hi guys, I'm back with another video. So today's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video.
Nigga, pay attention.
So in today's video, we're going to be talking about America's Next Top Model. So I got this idea because as of recent, I feel like Tyra Banks and the America's Next Top Model TV show franchise has really been trending all over social media. So there was a post on Twitter that pretty much exposed how toxic and demeaning America's Next Top Model was back in the day when it was in its original run. And I just had to talk about it because I really looked up to Tyra Banks growing up. I really loved the America's Next Top Model show. When I turned 18, I always wanted to be on the show. I always wanted to model. As someone who enjoys cameras and being in front of the camera, I've always been into being in front of the camera, being the face, being a model per se. It's not really much of an interest for me now, but back when I was like a teenager, that was definitely one of the main things I wanted to do. I remember watching a video that Tyra Banks did where she said when she was 12 years old, she was 95 pounds and 5'9", so she was really tall and really skinny. And when I was 12 years old, I wasn't that skinny, but I was pretty much that same type of build. Like I was like 5'7" at 12 years old, very skinny, very thin, never really had much of a shape until I got like to high school and college and stuff. Like even now I'm kind of curvy a little bit more. So it was really an inspiration to see such a beautiful Black woman have a presence in beauty, because oftentimes us tall girls, especially us stallions, we don't really get looked at as the pretty girls. It's like you could be a pretty girl, have a pretty face, but when you're tall, as a tall girl, it's like you never get the looks. Like you never get the attention that other girls get for being short, small, and petite, because it's seen as more feminine. It's like I got made fun of for being tall. I was always called a tower. I was always called a giraffe. I was always called walking tower. I was called Jolly Green Giant all through like middle school and high school. So being a tall girl, I really looked up to her because it showed I don't have to just play basketball. I don't have to do volleyball. I can do something within the beauty field that makes me feel pretty and makes me feel feminine. So I love that being tall and modeling is synonymous, because it's an industry where girls like me who are girly girls but just so happen to be longer and taller than the average girl can feel like she's a pretty girl. So I really looked up to America's Next Top Model. I pretty much watched almost all the seasons. My favorite season I think was cycle 19 or 20, whatever the season was where they introduced men. I love that season. And then before that, my favorite season would have to be the cycle that had the girl Jade on there. I don't know why, I just like that season. So as I've been seeing how this has been trending as of late, I kind of took some time to watch some old clips of the show, and knowing what I know now as an adult in 2020, it's kind of like, ooh, that was kind of toxic, or that was kind of crazy, or it was a bit demeaning. So I just wanted to talk about it in this video and the things that happened within the America's Next Top Model franchise, and apply my own little interest and my own little commentary. So I've broken my video down into 5 main talking points, so let's get right into this video. So point number 1 is the makeovers. So when I watched these clips over, I couldn't help but notice the makeovers of some of the girls that were being done. And I kind of feel like for a show that's supposed to promote modeling and beauty and bringing out someone's inner and outer beauty, your makeover, your face, your makeup, your hair is a big part of your personality. It's a big part of your identity. I remember one time I made a comment on YouTube years ago and I said, your hair is your identity. Your hair is a woman's identity. And some girl checked me and said, no, my hair is not my identity. It's just an extension of me. But I say, yes, it is an extension of you, but I also feel like your hairstyle does contribute to your identity. The way how we always talk about Black women in braids or Black women in tighter curled hair, it's a part of our cultural identity. It's a part of what makes us who we are, and it's a part of what makes us unique. So as a woman, regardless of your race or your ethnicity, our hair is a big deal to us for most women. And I feel like when the makeovers came, and usually always had to just deal with your hair, it strictly was about hair. hair, and that's such a huge part of being feminine and being within a feminine field like modeling. So when I look back at some of the content, some of those makeovers to me seem to be done for shock value, even though they never said, hey, we're doing this for shock value, we just want to get some ratings. But let's be real, it's television, okay? What they're trying to do is get people in and pull them in with ratings, and so people can see people break down, see people unhappy. Some people are happy with their makeover, some people hate it, some people refuse it, some people have even left the show when their makeover did not go as planned.
Brandy, we have thought about you, and we decided, girl, that you are fierce. And we ain't doing nothing to you.
Nada.
You are.
When she told me I was gonna keep the afro, I'm pissed off. I was just like, why? Because I wanted a drastic change so bad.
Who could forget this sassy Cycle 4 contestant? Brandy came into the competition with a bad weave and a bad attitude, and unfortunately her makeover fixed neither.
I'm gonna need to move. I'm sorry. Y'all hurting my feelings right now?
Your feelings are being hurt?
Yes, because they're all over it, so we're gonna get a new look. I'm sorry, I'm not getting a new look.
When Tyra told her that she'd be keeping her afro as it was, Brandy was far from impressed. But as it turns out, her hair was in too poor of a condition to keep anyway.
Brandy, I'm gonna have to take this off, precious. We're gonna make you really, really short, but really
Nice
bright
orange.
still.
Stop can't tease me no more, okay? Because this is coming off. I'm very happy about the change or whatever because I did not want to keep this afro.
So they buzzed it off and bleached her brows, leaving her looking edgier, more polished, and more like a model.
I'm gonna go back to my boyfriend. He's not gonna want me no more.
Back in 2004, Cassandra Jean Whitehead was just a 19-year-old beauty queen with a deep connection to beauty queen hair.
Cassandra, why are you crying?
I love my hair.
And when a big makeover drastically altered her appearance in Cycle 5, even Tyra wasn't satisfied with the result and made the controversial decision to chop off even more, 1 inch.
Initially, what Tyra really wanted was like a Mia Farrow cut. Like she wants this all a lot shorter.
See, I'm not really comfortable cutting it again when I haven't even gotten a chance to really work it yet.
Some girls might have had no problem going forward with such horror in the spirit of competition.
You may not like it at first, but you have to get into it. You have to try to see the good in it.
But this one didn't want anybody to change the essence of who she was, as this was a time when humans did not have the luxury of growing hair back, or something like that.
I have to be myself, and I want to walk out of this competition knowing that I did what I think was right in the long run, and that includes not letting people try and change the way I am.
It was just not looking like what a weeb should look like. I don't want to be the one girl who gets the crazy hairstyle that looks horrible.
Bold, blonde, and beautiful? That was the aim of Molly's makeover, but what she ended up with was far from supermodel quality. Tyra's vision for this makeover was, what if Diana Ross was a blonde? And so Molly spent 6 hours having a curly blonde weave sewn in, which ended up being executed so poorly that it looked like a cheap wig slipping off the back of her head.
My hair is disgusting. My whole head hurts, my ass hurts. I sat in a chair for 6 hours.
Molly, the other contestants, and even the owner of the salon were all horrified with how the look turned out. Faux porter. Tyra wanted to give Faux a makeover that would take away from her cuteness. So stylists chopped it all off in a short and sleek look that looked gorgeous with her bone structure.
I definitely was not expecting it at all. I'm the type of person that I just need time to feel used to it in my own skin.
Unfortunately, Faux hated her new look, breaking down in the salon and refusing to take off her headscarf when she got home. She sobbed that she had to hide her hair to feel pretty, and that this is what was going to break her in the competition.
When I was little, I'd always hide who I really was, and that was a girl with no money with my mom living off food stamps. But I've never felt as ugly till today. I have to hide my hair to feel pretty. This is what's gonna break me in this competition.
She even had a breakdown at her photo shoot in front of Jay, putting her in Tyra's bad books, and in the bottom 2 that week, to teach her a lesson about embracing new styles.
So I'm just gonna do my best and work it out right now.
Okay, we'll work it out. Oh, goodness gracious.
What's really crazy is this short haircut gives her an edge. It makes her look taller.
Why are you crying, boo? Yeah. Well, they're gonna make you look pretty.
I like somebody cut all your hair off. You want to be sad?
Tara entered the competition with her sister Chris. And while Chris was chosen for a long curly weave, Tara had almost all of her hair cut off in a drastic Khalees-inspired chop.
I look to my left and I see my sister's getting her hair cut and she's having a fit. A problem with my sister is it's written all over her face.
Sadly, Tara struggled with her new look and wasn't afraid to show it in the makeover photo shoot, leading to a frustrated Jay saying he could find a better poser at the mall.
Give me more face, I'm losing that other eye. Change your expression, it looks a little scared, I don't want that.
You're not letting us believe the makeover. You can go to a mall and find a girl who poses better than this.
Due to her attitude and bland photo, Tara was chosen to go home in a shock elimination that had never happened before in Antm history, teaching future contestants that not embracing a makeover wasn't just frowned upon anymore, it might get you sent home.
So the girl who will be going home tonight and will pack her bags will be Tara.
Now, I feel like Tyra sometimes just took it too far, and for the majority of those makeovers, most of them were either ugly, unattractive, or unwanted by the models themselves, and then some of them actually looked nice on some of the people that were being done on. And I feel like when it comes to the makeovers, that was the make or break point to show like, hey, I want to transform you into the small town girl that you are, or even if you're a city girl, just somebody that is your standard look and upgrade you into a better look that I think is marketable, that not only I like, but you like as well. But you can see Tyra sometimes, and not just Tyra, but the whole judge and panelists, the whole cast, sometimes they went and they made these girls look completely terrible. You can see by somebody's face if they don't like something. And for a show that's supposed to instill confidence in not only the models within the show and the contestants, but the people watching it, how can you sit here and do somebody's hair and make them feel not confident about themselves and expect them to go take pictures and videos and do campaigns? It's ass backwards. And I look at some of those makeovers and I cringe because it's like, why are you shaving off girls' hair and then sending them home a week later? Like, why would you shave my head and then send me home knowing that I don't like short hair? I don't think I look good with short hair. I don't feel confident in that. It seems like there could have been a better way to go about these makeovers. That way the models felt confident as well as looked high fashion and looked marketable in the modeling world, as well as Tyra and the rest of the panelists and the judges were able to make sure that they look good in whatever challenge it was for that week. The makeovers to me were mainly for shock value. Some of them looked good, most of them did not. And some of those girls, I really wish I could get an update on almost every girl from every cycle, because I really want to know how they felt when they go home after that makeover and they don't like how they look. I just feel like if you're gonna promote beauty and confidence among somebody, their hair is a big part of that. And if you ruin somebody's confidence, there's no way that they're gonna be able to perform to their best of their ability. And people ask me all the time, like, Chioma, why are you so confident? It's because I don't give a fuck, okay? People can say whatever they want about me, I don't give a fuck. And I make myself look how I feel like I am confident. That's with or without weave, with or without makeup, with or without any other enhancement. I don't give a fuck. I feel like when you're confident, you don't give a fuck about what other people say. And if you tell yourself every day with positive affirmations, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, I'm whatever, you're always gonna feel good no matter what somebody says. And trust me, everybody gets down. Sometimes I read comments and I be mad, okay? Sometimes I read things, I'm like, why you think of me like that? Sometimes I read comments and I go look at myself in the mirror and I say, maybe they are right. Maybe I do have a fat face. Maybe my lip liner is overdone. Maybe my mole is fat. Maybe my face is chubby, just from reading a comment. And that's just what comes with the territory of what I do. But within a show that's supposed to promote confidence, I feel like you can't sit here and tear somebody down physically and expect them to perform in a physical competition and feel beautiful about themselves. To me, the message was ass backwards, and I feel like there could have been a better method to cross-checking what was comfortable with each contestant that was still going to fit the mold of what Tyra and the other judges wanted to see. Now, point number 2 is all of the racial, colorist, and all the things that just played on the line of straight disrespect for people's races, cultures, and ethnicities. Now, this show is no stranger to definitely playing on the lines of, not even playing on lines, crossing the lines of disrespect as it relates to race, gender, and all those types of things. There was plenty of times on the show where there were people who were transgender on there that got made fun of or talked down upon, and instead for them to either edit it out or put some type of extreme sanction or even remove certain cast members that disrespected those people, that was not done. It was never done. It's kind of like, well, I'm making money, I'm sitting back making all these millions of dollars off of this show and off of people's struggles, but I don't have any level of integrity or decorum to understand that those words do not only hurt the contestant that I selected, but some of the viewers that are watching that are amongst that group of people. As it came to race, Tyra definitely put her models in blackface, okay?
Well, we're making you into a traditionally African woman with a head wrap and everything.
It is definitely an exciting experience.
So,
It's black and Irish. To be made up as a white woman, it's a little much. It just goes to show you're ultimately defined by who you are, not by this outside.
I was born in Mexico, but now I'm going to be a blonde Swedish girl. I'm happy that I'm actually
with this child I'm working with when I can't even be at home with my own son.
Oh. About some of the other girls?
A black girl with a nose job. Come on.
River Jackson.
Tight little. I got you, sweetie. I got you. You're not gonna go.
Couple more.
Brittany Besh.
So Tatiana, your face a little up. Go sleepy bye-bye on her cheek.
Dear child.
Michelle is gonna have it easy with no weight on her baby.
It's not pretending you're comfortable, but really, I'm not. Sometimes people have a warped view of transgender.
Yeah, like I almost felt like...
I'm like, come from a small town, hell yeah, we have a warped view.
Hell yeah!
This is not very nice. I have no idea why all the girls in my house are so sexual. I come from a small town, and it's definitely really extreme for my taste.
All right, go ahead.
I generally wouldn't hang out with characters like Alina or Sheena or Isis because she's a transgender. This is not very nice. I'm like the stereotypical white person.
Oh, what's that?
I don't really like rap music. Like I'm not really loud. I'm not like gonna walk in the room and just like, hey, like scream like that. This is not very nice.
The fact that she even tried to deny it or say that she would never do that, to me it kind of sounds coonish, because why are there white girls in makeup darker than me or even around my color for a challenge that is supposed to be emulating people of other races and ethnicities and cultures? That's exactly what blackface is. You don't play around with somebody's skin color. It's not a costume, okay? Like, you don't just play dress up in black, dress up in white. You just don't do that. That's just not how it works. Like, when it comes to skin color in particular, people can say what they want, white woman hair and black woman hair, all they can say whatever you want, but when it comes to your skin tone, your skin color, what is actually a racial identification, because that's what race is, identifying you primarily by color, you just don't play with that. And I feel like when I look at the show now, how the hell did they get away with doing some of this stuff? Like, I understand those were different times, things were a little bit more liberal. Right now we're a lot more nitpicky about things that we see, and especially on TV and the things that celebrities do, but how the hell were they able to get away with doing blackface in the early 2000s? It just didn't make any sense to me. And as a black woman, it was very cringy to see that Tyra Banks pretty much co-signed all of the fuckery. I was taken aback by some of the things that I saw now that I'm watching the show back, because I know better, obviously, but also because some of those girls didn't even do the skin color justice. I mean, if you're even going to rock something that's not you, make sure you do that joint and make sure you do it to the 10th power, okay? Because to me, it just came off as disrespectful. I also feel like Tyra, in some cases, played on people's body size. There was a girl who wasn't even fat, was not even looking overweight, did not have anything wrong with her, was very beautiful, very curvaceous, but she was called out amongst some of the other girls, all because she wasn't the same stick thin figure like all the other girls.
When I'm under a lot of stress, I find a real comfort in eating. Kenya, she feels like she's gaining some weight, but when the next bread tray comes around, she'll be the first one to grab a croissant or two off of it. I'm getting like a bowl of that yogurt. Kenya, just going and filling up more. It's just yogurt. She said she wants to lose weight, so she wants help. I'm gonna help. She's getting Convert your yogurt.
Of course, we're going to do a photo shoot today, but you guys are going to be the animals. So I picked an animal that I think represents each and all of you. You get to be the elephant. I don't know how one week is gluttony, next week is an elephant.
Right. Everybody else has these sexy little animals. I get to be the big fat elephant. Ugh, why do I keep getting stuck with these fat, like, characters? What is going on? I'm freaking out, like, what am I gonna do? I don't know how to be a sexy elephant. The stomach is exposed to the highest extent. It's bloated and it doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, but I hate to say it, they had to do a lot of body work on you and retouching.
At home, pretty much I try to, eat right. And we come here, my metabolism, everything is thrown off.
Stop! If you're sporting a gut, then you turn to the side and disguise it.
You're new. Be honest with yourself and don't point the finger, because nobody will retouch a picture as much as we did this picture. When we look at you, we don't see a model. And as much as I hate and preach about models not having to be stick skinny, we have to face it that we are in the fashion industry. If you don't fit the clothes, you don't work. Both of you guys' weakness, I don't think there's time for either of you to overcome them. But we've been in this industry for a long time, and these judges have seen miracles happen. Kenya.
That's what leads to to girls feeling not confident about their bodies, because you're looking at someone who is perfectly fine, doesn't have anything wrong with them, but you're telling them there's something wrong with them. And that to me is very, very toxic and very degrading and very demeaning, because I am a girl who has an ideal body, but I still nitpick myself off of what I see on the internet all the time. Like, I keep it real with you guys. There's no point me sitting here saying, oh, I'm just the most confident person, I don't have any flaws, I don't have anything that I'm insecure about. Absolutely not. Every person has an insecurity, and every person usually has a physical insecurity for the most part. And watching shows like that, especially at an impressionable age, is going to make young girls feel that way. Now, does Tyra have an obligation to tell young girls how to feel? No, but she took on that obligation when she made a show like this, and that's one of her purposes that she expresses throughout her own show. So you can't renege on your words when you're saying that you're trying to embrace beauty and positivity through body image and modeling, but then you're still putting down people for their body size, and you're still crossing the lines and disrespecting different cultures and races of people. And I just can't understand how she could do that as a black woman. Like, that's the part that's killing me. As a black woman who's been oppressed and marginalized, I don't understand how you don't understand it. But okay. Now, point number 3 is I want to talk about Tyra's attitude towards most of the show. Now, I understand in an industry like modeling, you're gonna get tough love. Not everyone's gonna be nice, not everyone's going to be positive all the time. You're not gonna meet the most welcoming people at all times. That goes for any industry. So I don't think she had any necessity to sit there and be so coddling and motherly at all times. But when your name and your reputation is at the front run of the show, you have to mind what you say, what you do, and how you act towards people. Let's talk about the infamous "I was rooting for you."
Tyra loses it.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. It's Fashion Week in Paris.
Losing a competition is never easy, but it's also not the end of the world.
You want to go home? If you don't do this, you're going to go home.
While it may be okay to leave another reality show with a smile on your face, don't try it when Tyra's the judge.
And if you don't feel you're worth it, then none of these people behind me and I won't feel like you're worth it.
When Tyra offered up some advice to Tiffany Richardson in Cycle 4, the entire world learned that one does not simply chuckle and laugh it off.
Oh, girl, you gotta stop. Breaking my back.
As this model found herself on the receiving end of an epic Tyra tongue lashing that was both emotional and mildly insane.
Be quiet! That's what is wrong with you. Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Learn something from this.
Tiffany did absolutely nothing wrong by not being emotional or crying about her being eliminated. She literally went there and told people, you know, I gave it my best. You know, you don't have to cry for me. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. Which is some people's approach to taking a L, taking a loss, being eliminated, or going through some form of hardship in life. Not every person is emotional. Not everybody's going to cry. Not everyone's going to sit here and bawl their eyes out. That's just not everybody. That's damn sure not me, as you guys can probably tell. So in that situation, I don't understand how you can chastise a girl for not feeling melancholic about being eliminated. It's not that she was not appreciative in that moment, it's that that's just not how she expressed it, especially right then and there. Who's to say she didn't go home and start crying about it and feel sad? Just because she didn't do it in front of you does not give you a reason to yell at her, okay? Now, I understand Tyra was probably coming from a place of her feeling like, oh my goodness, we chose you, we could have chose somebody else, but that's life. Like, not everyone's going to react in the way that you want them to. I feel like there was other times where Tyra didn't necessarily act welcoming or nice to some of the models. It kind of seemed like she also individually attacked many of the girls that were women of color. I remember when Yaya was on there and she decided not to choose the hat that was made of cheap African kente fabric, and she went for the cowboy hat and said, you know, it was a simpler look.
We got it.
Yaya.
Excuse me. Why did you choose the cowboy hat? It's more on the simple side compared to the other hats, so that I can go crazy with accessories and express myself without being cliche.
Yeah, I think you look beautiful. I think everyone probably pegged you for going for the typical African hat.
You're, I feel, half African, half cowgirl. Looks like you're about to ride a giraffe. I think I'm not feeling it.
You have this intensity to prove your sort of Africanness, and I think that sometimes it's overbearing. It's just too much. It's sort of a layer on top of a layer.
In response to trying to prove myself as an African, that's just where I come from. It's very natural to me. And I did not choose that hat for the very specific reason that it's very cliche. The fabric that it's made from is very artificial, very cheap, fake kente. I didn't have the time. I know I'm running on.
There's a different way of explaining yourself and being defensive. And you're being very defensive, and it's not attractive.
Just because we had a talk about, you know, Afrocentricity before, and it's kind of misunderstood.
I'm all about, like, expressing yourself in your culture, but it's still done in a fashion way. You want your outfit to be, look at me, and this outfit is, look over there.
They chastised her for not doing that because they said that, oh, it seems like you're just being too bossy. It seems like you're being too know-it-all. It's not coming off as a nice person. But it's like, when the hell were y'all ever nice? And if the woman wants to stand up for the fact that she takes pride in being an African woman and she doesn't want to wear cheap fake kente because that's what it was, made in China kente, there's nothing wrong with that. And I kind of feel like it was certain instances where I feel like Tyra just did not understand and had the superiority complex. Now, you are top model Tyra. You are the best of the best. So you do walk around with that chip on your shoulder, as you should, okay? But when you're seeing people that are trying to come into your industry as a mentor, a self-titled mentor who's making the show for that sole purpose, I just kind of feel like there's a way that you go about things. There's a way to talk to people. There's a way to criticize people. There's a way to make sure people understand the realities of a situation. There was just plenty of times I just felt like she was just playing rude, like she just didn't understand what was going on. Now, I'm not going to chastise her that much for that because we're all human, okay? We all are like that sometimes, but I couldn't help but notice how reoccurring that was through all of the cycles. Now, my fourth point is this show never taught anything about modeling. To me, it kind of said a little sprinkle of modeling tips here and there, but majority, we're gonna humiliate you guys and make you guys do things you will never do it within the modeling industry and in the modeling world just for the wow factor of television, which does make sense, okay? You have to have challenges, but some of those challenges were dumb as hell. There was a challenge where the girls had to walk down a runway with swinging pendulums, basically to challenge if they were gonna get hit with the pendulum or not. What does that have to do with modeling, especially print modeling? In a runway fashion show, you're not gonna go and pendulums are gonna be thrown at you.
When I first fell, I was horrified, but the competitiveness was just rushing through me like, oh my god, you idiot. Get up, pull yourself together, suck it up. I think I should have just taken a breath and relaxed a little bit up there. Instead, I was like, oh my god, make it fierce, do something, distract them. So I think I did that in my face.
She fell twice. I was like, oh my gosh.
There was another one where they had to walk or pose within this ball, this plastic ball that is being rolled over a body of water, and they have to get the shot. It didn't make any sense for them to be doing all of that. When are you gonna do that in modeling?
I don't know how the bubble moves, but it's just like it was not working properly. I think I had got like a defective bubble or something.
Girl down.
I'm like, you know what? We about to end this bitch with a bang. So I was like, voila, like, I'm out this bitch.
There was another one where the girls had to pose in ice cold water because when they take pictures for swimming suits, you have to take them a season before when it's usually cold, and they had to post in that to the point where a girl got hypothermia. Y'all couldn't use a heated pool? With all the money that y'all had from the show, y'all couldn't use a heated pool. Y'all couldn't be in an indoor pool to do that. To me, it seems like a lot of the challenges did not teach modeling. It was just there for TV show, which I could understand from a business and corporate standpoint. But I didn't understand if this is supposed to be America's Next Top Model, not America's Next Top Embarrassment, why were most of the challenges not about modeling? Now, I did like the original seasons in the beginning because I felt like that was the essence of modeling. You know, waking up on time, getting hair and makeup, learning to pose, going on the go-sees, meeting different designers, practicing your walk. But I feel like as the show progressed, it lost its essence of what it actually meant to be. It seems like the show producers sat there and said, how can we humiliate these girls for the next season? What stupid ass challenges can we make them do? And I used to watch it and it was entertaining, don't get me wrong, okay? But it kind of seems like, what are you actually teaching them? Sometimes I kind of did not understand the purpose of it, especially when it played on a lot of people's fears. There were times where girls had to pose with animals. There were times where girls had to literally do physical parts of modeling. There were times where girls were being suspended from heights higher than, you know, anywhere I'm going. You know, tall people don't like heights, okay? I don't like heights at all. So it didn't make any sense to me how some of the content had nothing to do with modeling and didn't teach the girls modeling at all. I also feel like some of the judges were kind of rude. When Kelly Cathrone came on there, she did not make the show any better, okay? They could have did without her. I admired her cutthroat ways, okay? Because you're gonna have to have that antagonist within a show or a movie or a book or whatever. So it made sense. But some of the things that were said were just downright rude, and I didn't understand what part of this is building up girls to learn how to model and be models even if they don't win the competition. Because to me, if this was my organization and a girl doesn't win the actual competition but still has a successful modeling career, I would like to take pride in saying, hey, I taught her some of the basic things that she needed to know to be successful to this day. Not, oh, she was on my show and I used her, I made millions of dollars, and now she's a top model somewhere and I'm not going to toss to her or take any credit, or at least, you know, congratulate her for, or give, or take my credit in helping her. Like, it just didn't make any sense that some of the things I saw were just not helping the models progress within the industry and within their careers. Now, my fifth and final point is the message is sent / pretty much how we view it in today's world in 2020. I kind of feel like there's a lot of things in this show that would definitely not pass in 2020, especially the things that had to do with race. And I also feel like now that I know what I know and now that I'm smart, a lot of those girls went through a lot of abuse. A lot of those girls were diminished in the sense of having to come on television, express themselves in a way that really did not add to their career if they wanted to model seriously or not. With Tyra Banks overall, I still think she's a legend. I still think she did the damn thing. But like someone said on Twitter, it kind of seems like Tyra was the problem and Naomi wasn't. But I still feel like Naomi is a bitch in her own right. But the bitch know what the fuck she's doing. In today's world, I would love for them to be a good America's Next Top Model, synonymous to the old seasons, but that actually focused on the essence of modeling and did not embarrass, demean, or put any form of disrespect towards any realm within the world of society into the show. You're gonna have your entertaining moments, you're gonna have your crazy moments. Yes, there should be some crazy challenges, but now that I know what I know and I'm looking back, it's just, it wouldn't fly today in 2020. I feel like America's Next Top Model was so successful because of these reasons, so I can't sit here and talk shit. I watched the show, but I also feel like now that I'm older and I watch what I watch, if I would have absorbed the show's purpose at that time, it could have affected me very poorly. There was some very positive moments on there as well when they embraced the girl who had alopecia, some of the things they did for the black woman on there. There were some things that did resonate with me, but overall I don't think the show really served a positive message. But it is reality TV, it is a challenge and competition show. I just kind of feel like Tyra Banks, as a black woman, I don't know how you could have went about the show in the way that you did with some of the things that you did, because looking back, sis, is not looking too good, okay? Now Tyra Banks is still a queen in her own right, and she is, like I said, the top model. So kudos to you, sis. But now that I know what I know, it's just kind of crazy to think that that's the show that I watched, and those are the messages that were being sent to many girls all over, not just the United States, but in its franchises that were global. So that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I want to know your thoughts on my commentary down below in the comments. Did you guys watch America's Next Top Model? How did you guys feel? Now that you're older, how do you guys feel about the show when you look back at it now? Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.